This pretty good coverage is brought to you by Power Grip, the official retail partner of the European Pro Tour.
Hello and welcome back to EPT All-Stars coverage here in Mijas, Spain. This is FPO Round 1 Back 9 feature card coverage. Only 3 athletes here for you today actually, with the 4th not arriving for her tea time. However, these athletes really a great representation of the skill across Europe at the moment here in Disc Golf Park Mijas, a great venue for some exciting competition towards the end of the season. As we take a look at the standings through the front 9, we see Marie Quilas currently sitting in the solo lead at even. The weather certainly playing a factor here. Rachel Turton on our card sitting in second at 2 over. Jenni just 1 stroke behind her, 3 over in 3rd place. And Alessa, our 3rd competitor here on this feature card, currently sitting in 5th place. A tight battle still early in the tournament. Certainly strokes to be gained. And a lot of golf left to play. You see here, hole 10, a par 3 at 90 meters, another one of these over the valley shots, a lot of slopes to navigate, and very important to get your height and nose angle correct. Some of these guardian trees, if you find them along your way, can give you a severe roll. So trying to either hit the hill below the basket and putt upwards or land on that plateau where you see this basket perched. Much more difficult, although should give you a safer putt, potentially towards that cliff. Really just an exciting hole which can offer players a lot of opportunities for either an amazing drive or an amazing putt. Rachel up first. Oh, and just off the guardian tree to the right. She's absolutely pinned it. Parked underneath the basket for her birdie. A great result there. Just trying to hit that tree and filter through. She did just that. A lot of these players will use that tree as a sort of guide stone, and you can see even if they hit it, it's possible to either kick out or go through. We'll go to Alessa now. Doesn't have quite as much arm speed as the other two, but hitting a great shape here to try and fight up the hill. And she's given herself a long uphill look, should be able to run that confidently. We see just exactly that roll away, which I touched on here for Jenni, and an amazing bid. Incredibly steep and long putt that looked to be perfectly chain high, even from that distance. Alessa able to give it a bid and will be left with a slightly nervy putt coming back. Jenni as well, although she has the tree behind her. Jenni finds her par. Alessa, short work for that short putt, and we will see Rachel tapping in. Very nice birdie. We saw that aggressive line pay off. Here we are on hole 11. Par 3 at 78 meters. Another sloping and treacherous hole. You see this initial gap with that left to right sloping fairway, as well as this late gap. Plays similar to a tunnel shot, but there's also potential for the big hyzer really. What's important is that you manage your distance, manage your stability, and try to stick the hill here with your preferred disc of choice. A lot of these holes playing as significant scoring separators. Birdie's really going a long way out here, given the conditions, given the difficulty of the course. Rachel up first. She's going to be playing this high hyzer, trying to go right of that guardian tree, swing it back into the left. And we see a nearly perfect shot from her as it begins to roll, does get caught by a root. She'll have another great opportunity for birdie. And it's nice to have that power that Rachel does off the tee to be able to blast that huge hyzer over and around those late trees. We see Jenni looking for a similar line, but with an unfortunate kick will leave her a lot of work left. We go to Alessa, looking to flex one through the central gap. As she too tumbles to her fate down the hill. A common theme here in Mijas Disc Golf Park is the footing. The sloped, treacherous fairways. A great touch and a great throw from Jenni. Parks it. That was a tough spot. Awkward footing, great composure and angle control, as well as speed control from Jenni there, making it look very easy. Alessa able to pitch up with sort of a jump Anheuser putt. Rachel here with a look for birdie. Could potentially put 2 in a row together and just off to the right side. Really happy to see that one settle quickly and not find ground play. As we'll see, 3 very different drives, but 3 very similar scores. A par frame here for our feature card. Here you see stunning hole 12, a 95-meter downhill par 3 with effectively an island green. Although it doesn't play like it, you really want to try your best to sit your disc on this plateau with a steep drop-off on all sides of the basket, except for short. There is a huge amount of danger here, potentially. Some discs that go long can really sail way down the hill to the point where lost disc and re-tee is very possible. Certainly a make or break hole. I think a lot of these players will be looking to use a lot of overstability, a very reliable, consistent flight, and try to not flip anything up too much. Just nose down and overstability. Rachel doing just that, a great throw, finding herself on the green. And a lot of these hills very exposed to the winds. Certainly coming into play here. We see Jenni playing the spike hyzer for the right-handed backhand. And as she digs the hill just a bit long, we see her disc does stop, not going all the way, but very likely blind to the basket, needing to fight her way back up the hill. Alessa also to be looking at an overstable flight, but kept it a little bit tight the whole way, even just from the release. Didn't give it the width required, and unfortunately does fade down the right side. Huge uphill distance left for her here. And that may give her a long putt. We'll see how aggressive she chooses to be. Jenni certainly has a chance to approach here. And just another great display of her touch and accuracy, cresting the hill perfectly and slowing it down just in time. Alessa managing that one as well. We see Rachel here for the birdie. Unfortunately off the band for her, but she really is giving herself chance after chance here. So far in this back nine, she has been birdie putting on all 3 holes. 10, 11, and 12. Only able to find 1 so far, but still great display of her skills. And that's all you can really do in disc golf. You give yourself as many chances for birdie as you can. It's not always realistic to expect that you make all of them. Here we are, hole 13. A par 4 at 165 meters. We are once again throwing off the top of the hill over this beautiful Spanish valley. You see this basket tucked into the corner of this sloped hillside here. This is really a hole that allows players to push their drive way out there. And at only 165, likely going downhill on their first shot, but uphill on their second shots. You can just play an overstable, fairly safe shot if you trust slightly longer approaches. Otherwise, you want to bite off as much distance as possible to hopefully have an easier approach. We see Rachel really pushing this one here. A high release with a slightly flippier disc, and she does stall out a little bit too early, I think, from that nose up. Particularly from an elevated tee, you want to get a touch of nose down to ensure a forwards piercing and pushing flight. Jenni Karppinen has done just that. Beautiful shot off the tee there. Long pushing flight, late stability. Pretty picturesque line for Jenni. Alessa here looking for that long turnover as that disc battles the winds and the height. She'll crash into that left side hill as well, although look to have quite a good turnover there before fading out. I think the distance was potentially enough to give herself a look here, but you see just how compromised she is. Amazing shot. Absolutely amazing to get the height and turn and fade, power, all of those variables to that shot correct there. Really nice. You see Rachel opting for that wide, pure hyzer. But particularly in the wind, if you make your disc more vertical than horizontal, like on a spike hyzer angle, it can play a few tricks with your disc. Like a sail in the wind, we see. Oh, an amazing bid from Jenni. Wow. Really pretty incredible attempt there. I believe for Jenni's eagle. We'll check on that. We see Rachel here for birdie. That awkward straddle around the bushes. We go to Alessa. Some great disc twirling abilities there. She picks up her birdie. You'll notice that she does that almost automatically. Some nice disc twirls. I know they've inspired other people as well to try and learn that. And Jenni there does find the tap-in birdie. Really nicely done and incredible drive on display, showing her skills. We see another beautiful hole here, 14, par 3 at 75 meters, playing as an island green. You see this basket tucked between the two trees on the hillside. A lot of players, if they can, for the right-handed throwing style, will throw forehand over stable, try to crash into the hillside, or if you prefer the backhand, you can really try to sneak a sort of straight flying putter or mid-range just into the hill on the right and hope to not fade too much leftwards. I think a good disc choice and stability choice really quite a lot more important for the backhand here, particularly in the wind. We'll see Jenni getting us started. She has a quick reset there. Opting for a pure hyzer. I like the nose down. Certainly has some stability, but didn't quite make it all the way to the green. Unclear how much she's left with, but it will be looking downhill. Quite a scary putt or approach. Alessa as well. Unfortunately, overturning does find OB. Rachel, fortunate enough to be able to lean on that forehand. You'll see her pump this one out. And just digging the green. Cameraman under fire. Great use of the stability there from Rachel. Alessa, from where she crossed, does give herself a look. That's pretty good. Certainly not a putt that will be easy by any means, but it is a chance if she wants to take it. Similar for Jenni here, towards that downhill. She really doesn't want to give that a run. I think just pitching up as close as possible. We see Rachel here for birdie, and she says no thank you. I will take my par. She is currently leading this card, currently one stroke ahead of Jenni. As we see there, pars for Jenni and Rachel, a double bogey for Alessa. And still some very demanding holes yet to come. We see here hole 15. A par 3 at 100 meters clean. This fairway and green sloping left to right. Once again, a tiered green. A lot of players will try to land slightly downhill of the basket and then putt uphill, but even if you're on that upper plateau, of course that is a great spot to be. Hole 15, a big swinging hyzer if you have it, perhaps a hyzer flip if you want the distance. Good management of power and width is what will be important here. And from that flight of Jenni's disc, I mean, you can imagine that she was throwing something fairly stable and just getting slammed down. The wind is likely coming left to right here. And that hyzer angle, which they're almost forced to throw on, is going to be pushed down and not be offered so much space to fade. And you see from Rachel's as well, as it looked nearly perfect, she catches an edge and bye-bye. That thing is gone down the hill. A tough break off a pretty good looking shot for Rachel there. Alessa now, often looking for more of a flex play, but the wind stealing the flight of her disc as well. As she clips the branches, Rachel forced to this low patent pending upshot. And she's managed to give herself a putt looking uphill. She can certainly run that confidently. And a decent result, all things considered. Jenni continues to make stabs at these baskets from way out. Alessa in quite a tricky spot. Plays that spin putt. Unfortunately, finds the band. We see Rachel for a par save here. And just a little bit too low again, I think. That's been her common miss today here in this first round, is just a touch low. She's found a lot of cage, although the width of her putts seems to be quite nice. It's just that height and that final flick off the fingers. We see Jenni with a easy 3 there. Alessa does find the bogey. Alessa on a bit of a roller coaster in these last 4 holes, has not taken a par while finding birdies and bogeys. Here we are on hole 16, another par 3. It says 75 meters, but this is so steeply uphill, it is a lot more. A lot of these players will be looking to use a little bit of understability to fight the slope and try to crest onto this plateaued green up at the top of the hill. The nose angle and turn is really important here. You can opt to go full hyzer flip, turnover. It really is, once again, just up to your preferred shot shape. All you need to make sure is that you get up there and put it close. As Jenni pushes that up the hill, gets hit down a little bit, but looks to connect to the ground with speed. Likely found some good ground play there, but just a ripping headwind. Such a hard combination to manage. Having to throw nose up to go uphill, but also having a ripping headwind that will push that nose up even further into the sky. Rachel there gets it slightly overturned. Alessa looking to put a big anhyzer flex, but that left to right wind just pummeling the disc. And as she flies over that fence, she will find out of bounds. It's quite close to the green, but you can see even along the fairway, particularly with the wind, it can certainly come into play. Solid recovery from Alessa there. We'll be left with a tap-in bogey. Unclear for Rachel. I believe she also may have gone over the fence, maybe just hit it. And Jenni, I believe, was safe. As Alessa cleans that one up. 3 throws, but with that OB penalty stroke. We see for both Jenni and Rachel the pars likely just coming to rest. Oh, rather, Rachel with the bogey did find OB as well off the tee. 2 left here in this first round of the tournament. This is hole 17. Another long open par 3 at 114 meters. This fairway slopes downhill as well as softly left to right. This one really would like a big drive, probably using a more stable disc to try and control the distance, putting a big flex on it, or potentially a hyzer flip. We have Jenni up first, currently leading the card by 1 stroke ahead of Rachel. She's been looking really clean off the tee these last few holes. And that's a solid drive. She will have a long look to the basket, maybe even a little forehand throw attempt with the backstop. Although not too many risks need to be taken towards the end of a pretty solid round here for Jenni and Rachel. Certainly very much in contention for that lead card and eventually podium spots. Alessa hitting this flex line. She'll need significant movement back to the left. You see that late fade, but not enough to get herself to a comfortable position. Still a lot of work left to be done here. And actually hitting the cameraman. You saw it on his face. He was not too pleased either. Unfortunate, or potentially fortunate, if he stopped her disc from going over the other side. I'm not going to try and speculate whether or not that helped her, but an interesting result regardless. Of course, a mistake there. That was a good upshot. This is where Alessa was left. And you see frustration out of her, understandably so, really. That is at no fault of her own. Unfortunately, that is how it happens, particularly in the wind. These camera people want to get the best footage that they can. They try to be thoughtful about their placement on the hole, on the course, not to interrupt players, but ultimately catch cam needs to be where the players are throwing. And unfortunately there, Alessa, with a lapse of focus, putting into that headwind, gives it a bit too much height, does walk away with a 5. Jenni with a very solid back 9 here, all pars and a birdie. Rachel as well finds her birdie there. A thematic ending here to Mijas Disc Golf Park, hole 18, a par 5 at 201 meters. You have this top of the world shot over the valley. You really want to push your drive as far forwards and ideally left as possible, as you then have this power tower to navigate coming into the green. Very sloped backstop as usual. It's certainly a manageable birdie, sitting at 200 meters as par 5, but does need a good degree of control. It's really about finding your placement shots on your first and second to then ultimately on your third hopefully get to the green and find the birdie. That is a very smart, good shot from Jenni there. Great nose down, great stability, good pushing angle. Really didn't do too much, but I think that's sort of what you want here. We see Rachel pushing a lot more to the left than Jenni's, trying to open up that angle potentially for the forehand approach on her second or her third shot. If you do get a big distance, eagle can potentially come into play, but not sure it's worth risking it all this early in the tournament. We see Alessa overturned. Rachel going to that standstill from an awkward sloped position. Puts herself back in the fairway. Alessa's looking to push as much distance out as she can there. Still maybe trying to salvage her par save with that penalty stroke from OB. We go to Jenni here. And she continues to chip away. Solid progress. That next shot should be open to the green for her. We see just that here for Alessa. Going wide left side turnover, but doesn't have the height to clear all of the obstacles along the way. Will be left with an obstructed putt. See Jenni also in a very nice spot. If she can make that slight correction to Alessa's line, looks to be significantly more rightwards, and she'll also have those small bushes in her way. Didn't quite pure the line. Rachel now with a chance. But this is too far to the right, and she catches that tower. Kicking off, I think, certainly just playing for par now here for Rachel. Put this one as close as she can, and there it is. Smooth ending. Rachel should be ending on a par with that approach. Looking at a 3 over for her round. We'll see where that leaves her in just a moment. Good upshot from Alessa there. Jenni with near impossible looking putt. Oh, and she finds the chains. And she finds the roll. And she finds the sit down. What a turn of events here for Jenni. Gave it an amazing bid into chains from a really awkward position. And is punished for it ultimately on the final hole after having a clean back nine, bogey free. Alessa there does end her round. Still not a par taken from hole 12 onwards. She is in full attack mode, birdie or bogey. Unfortunately, towards those last few holes, more bogeys, but certainly some things to be proud of from that round. And Jenni there does take that bogey to be tied with Rachel. 3 over for the round. We see this really eventful, exciting course offering a lot of score separation, a lot of skill tests on both distance, accuracy, angle control, disc knowledge, wind management, a lot of factors coming into play here at EPT All-Stars. We see the top 10 standings. Marie Kilas holding that solo lead position at 2 over. She had it after the front 9, and she will continue as your leader into round 2. Both Jenni and Rachel tied in second at 3 over, with Sanna Algren in 4th place, securing your lead card for round 2. We thank you for joining us for this exciting coverage. We appreciate your support very much. You can drop us a like, comment, subscribe, or even check out the MDG Media Patreon to continue to support this project. Thank you very much, and hope to see you for round 2.